Hey all, it's Rich and Shelley from Air to Ground Farms. Welcome to Farm Talk Monday night. How is everybody?
Hey, let us know where you're in here from. I know we have people from Canada and Missouri, maybe some Minnesota. Welcome to Monday Night Lives, guys. Hey, man, we took a road trip this weekend.
Yeah, we
Just
a
got back today.
fast trip.
Yeah, it was a fast trip. We left on Thursday and we got back today. We buzzed back, left at about 3 a.m. this morning
Yep.
and drove. I think we only stopped twice. It was a 12-hour trip. And I mean, it was a jump out and get some gas and go so that we could get back here and hang out with you guys tonight.
Yeah, we spent some time visiting Shelley's parents in the Asheville, North Carolina area and got to hang out and float down the river and relax.
Yeah.
And it was a very, very
It was
relaxing,
really relaxing,
nice, good time.
family time for sure.
Yeah.
Don't get to see them as often as we would like, but you know, we take all the minutes that we can whenever we have time with each other. Floating down the river. Oh my goodness. The first day we floated down the river and we thought we had sunscreen on good enough, but we didn't. And we wound up on the river longer than we thought we were going to. And it was cool water. It was just a nice afternoon. And the next day, we were super regretting the fact that we did not get enough sunscreen on the tops of our legs because we were tubing.
You would think, being from Florida, we would understand how to put on sunscreen.
You would think. Yeah. So, real quick, for those of you who are listening, can you please give us a thumbs up or down or let us know how the sound is? Because we continue to work with our systems to make sure that everything is doing okay. After the first week, it kind of was botched. And if you would, just let us know if it's sounding okay on your end. That would help us out a lot.
Hello, Angels Homestead. Glad to have you with us. Georgia K, hello from Louisiana. Loud and clear, Emily. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Rick Wynn, 96. Good evening, everyone. And then
Emmy
we've
Livingston,
got
glad you're here this evening.
Yeah, glad you were able to join us. Sound is good tonight. Good.
Good. We've been trying. We're working on it.
Good.
Another one of those things that they didn't teach us when we were off doing the whole Air Force deal. They didn't tell us. They didn't teach us how to be sound techs for ourselves.
Here we are.
Thank you.
We're good.
But here we are.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have a couple of things we wanted to share with you guys. Just general farm stuff. On Tuesday of last week,
Yep.
we ran all of our sheep through the working pens, and we worked the sheep. We were really having a lot of foot issues especially with the lambs, because it had been so incredibly wet here. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, the sheep's feet, the way that they're made, the edges of them are like a fingernail almost, and then the bottom of them is like a pad, almost like a callus. And
Yeah.
because it was so wet, the pads just start getting really sore for them, and any little thing ends up they're limping. And so it took us a few hours to get through all of the sheep feet on Tuesday.
Yeah, that was quite a chore. And let me tell you, when you're doing sheep feet, y'all, it's yucky.
It's just a long day.
It's just a long, yucky day to do sheep feet. Hey, Mom, we made it home. It was such a great visit. Kim Markham is my mom, guys.
Yeah, thank you. We had a great time.
We had a beautiful time. Anyway, so we worked the sheep on Monday, Tuesday, and on Wednesday, our first batch of chickens went to the processor down in Arkansas, and my father-in-law Eddie and Huck took the 150 birds down to the USDA processor. So they are down there getting processed and cut up.
Yeah,
all the pieces.
That whole the delivering the birds process, from what they said, went well. One little surprise was that when we toured the plant, it sounded like we were going to drop the birds off and then almost immediately get the crates back, rinsed out so that we could load the crates and bring them home empty. But it turns out it's a few hours, like 4 or 5 hours.
So apparently the chickens wait in those crates while they're waiting for their destination. And once they have emptied out of the crate, then we can have the crates back. A lot of people will have 2 sets of crates and leave them there, go back and kind of do a swap out whenever they drop the next batch off. But we don't have that many crates because we're not 1,000% sure that we're how long.
Well, we're trying.
We're trying this out.
If this works out really well, we may get another set. But it was like $1,200 to buy all of the
just for
the crates.
Chicken crates.
So for now, we're just going to end up having to wait for them to get it.
But it went really well. It went really quite smoothly. And then on the next trip down, we'll take chickens to be processed and pick up the chicken that is processed. So we will take freezers down there with us and load the ready to go into people's freezers chicken and bring it back. So it's very exciting.
Very exciting.
Because you see me not processing chicken.
Right.
That's good.
Mary Lou's little homestead says hi, everyone. Hi.
Oh, watching from Maryland.
Watching from Maryland.
We lived in Maryland for, 3 years. Yeah, down in the kind of Waldorf, La Plata area.
We were in Pomfret for 2 years and La Plata for a year.
Yeah, while he was working in the Pentagon. I don't know if you know what Highway 210, or is it 210?
Oh my goodness. It is 210. I do not miss that.
That was not fun. No.
And we've got crawfish from Covington, Louisiana. Hello.
Good day. Anyway, so we got the chickens delivered, we got the sheep worked, and we were getting ready to go to see my parents in North Carolina, getting everything all tidied up, checking on everybody. And we went out and we noticed that we had one of our cows was kind of up in the woods. We moved the cows and she didn't come with them.
Yeah, one of our heifers, we knew that she was getting ready to have a calf. And the day before, on Tuesday, she had separated herself from the rest of the herd, which is awesome. We knew, okay, things are progressing. She put herself in the woods, and we were like, that's great.
Typical.
Very typical.
Everything was happening.
Go off into the woods, all is well.
Yeah. So we went to move them before we were to head out, and she hung back, and
again, typical.
Very typical. But as we were trying to see what was up with her, she kind of walked deeper into the woods, trying to get away from us, and she laid down and started pushing. And we were like, wow, this is about 3:00 in the afternoon. And we're like, wow, okay, cool.
On Wednesday afternoon.
Yes, we're going to get to watch this thing on Wednesday afternoon, and then everything is just going to be done and we can leave, and great.
But because we were getting ready to go on our trip, we didn't just stand there and watch her. So we left her in the woods laboring. All was seeming to go well. We could see a little bit of a calf presenting, and it's like, oh, good, everything's going fine.
So we came back to do some packing up and last minute things that we were doing around the house and such, and went back up there a couple of hours later. She should be done by then, and she wasn't even there anymore. She was gone. She had moved.
We looked. We spent a half hour probably looking,
tromping around in the woods.
Ticks and chiggers, and I mean, we spent a half hour just crawling all through the woods trying to find her, and finally I walked up into the next pasture where we had moved the rest of the cows, and there she stood.
Yeah, no baby.
No
baby, and the baby hadn't come out yet. So we noticed she was still pushing, and we were able to get closer, and we saw that things were looking like they weren't quite going right. So many of you do have cows, and you know this. Calves should come out a certain way, just like human babies. we don't want them coming out feet first, right?
Right. Well, sort of.
Well,
Calves.
well, calves we do, but not human
Not
babies.
human babies,
No, that's a very bad situation.
So the picture that you want to see is 2 hooves and a nose, and you should be seeing basically all 3 of them at the same time. You know, it may be just a little bit offset, but the picture, and lambs are the same way. And we had a ewe this year, and we did not see that picture. We saw a nose only, and we were standing and watching her, and then it dawned on us. It was like
It was dark. We had just gone to check on her.
It was
and
dark. We were
like
shining
9 o'clock.
lights, and
Super
we
dark.
said, "It's just a nose."
Wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
Sight picture's really wrong here.
Yeah.
But we didn't miss a beat. We just went over there, got her, fixed it, pulled the lambs out, and everything was fine.
So with our heifer cow, we call her Bumblebee. She had that name when she came to us as a very young calf. So Bumblebee was presenting a calf that was nose only.
Right.
All we could see was the nose. And we're like, oh my gosh. So we knew she had been pushing for at least 3.5, 4 hours.
Yeah.
And we were seeing nose only. And even with a heifer, 4 hours is
That's too long.
long enough for them to be pushing, and all we were seeing was nose.
Of course, she's up in a pasture. It's now 6+ o'clock in the evening, and she's up in a pasture, and we've got to get her separated from the herd and get her to our cow pens and get her to, she wasn't going to let us do anything for her in a field. No. We had to get her into the squeeze chute so that we could see what we needed to do and help her and get the thing out. Now, I would also like to add, we've had cows for 3 years, and it's kind of like riding a motorcycle. We both ride motorcycles, and it's often said it's not if you put your motorcycle on the ground, it's when. Now, you may be just sitting in the parking lot and drop it, or going real slow or something like that, in a tight turn, but oftentimes, most of the time, everybody's going to drop their motorcycle at one point, right?
Yeah.
So I think that having to deal with this, it's not an if, it's more like a when, and
you're going to have to pull a calf.
You're going to have to pull a calf.
Yeah.
And this is our first time at this point. Yeah.
I get caught up on some comments here. We've got Anna watching from Lakeland. We're from Okeechobee.
Yeah.
Hi, Anna. Did quite a bit in Lakeland. We've got Kathy from the northeast corner of Indiana. Welcome. And then Emmy is not happy that I mentioned chiggers.
They are the worst.
Yeah. And then poor Mama Cow.
Yeah.
Yeah, we agree. So what we had to do, we had to get her separated from the herd. I was able to use some flags and separate her from the rest of the cows and walk her down, I don't know, a few hundred yards. We had to walk her to get her into the pen and walk her through the pens, get her into the squeeze chute, got her caught in the chute, and then we were able to actually start
helping her. Yeah, and so at this point, it's just Rich and I down there, try see what we need to do, what is the situation. And the first thing that he had to do was put the calf, push it back down inside the mom because it was presenting wrong. And what happens is the calf's head is out and its legs are basically tucked back, and it will never come through the birth canal like that. It just isn't going to fit. And so he had to manually push that calf back down out of the birth canal into the, I guess, her uterus, I guess, just all the way back down in. At that point, the water hadn't even broken yet, but then it did. Yeah. And now we got to get it out.
Yeah.
So he pushed her back down in, and then had to manually reach in, and I do have some pictures of him working on her. If you'll click on the first picture right there.
All right, if you don't want to see it.
If you don't want to see him working
wanna...
on a cow's behind, now's the time to probably not look. Okay. So he was literally arm deep in pushing the calf back in, and then he really had to reach in there and grab the legs and pull them, fold them forward and get them coming forward with his own strength. And let me tell you,
it was really hard because every time I would push, she would contract. So I'm trying to make the calf go back in, and everything in her body is saying that calf needs to go out.
Especially when you stuck your arm in there.
And so as I was trying to get the calf back in, with everything she had, she was pushing against it. So I would have to wait for her to stop contracting and then push the calf back in. And it's not just an inch or two, it's like almost 2 feet. It's like 18 inches to get that calf all the way back in there, so that there is room then. And I had to like twist the legs and like flip them up and around, and
very tight space, and calves are strong. And
I was sweating. I mean, it was something.
I don't know when I've seen it just took a lot of energy and a lot of strength to even get it ready to come out of her birth canal.
Yeah.
So he got her ready, and we have some chains, and we got the chains around her.
Well, initially I thought maybe I can just pull.
Oh.
And that's the little movie clip.
Oh, would you guys like to see a movie clip? We have a short one. It's about 1 minute. We can play that really quick.
Okay.
Just do that. So he was literally trying to pull at this point.
So I'm waiting on her to contract.
Come on, Mama. Come on, Mama. Come on, Mama. Let's go.
So I've got 2 feet right now, and I'm trying to get her to contract, and then me pull the feet with her contracting to try to get it out.
Yeah. Well, needless to say, that did not work. It did not work. So we got some devices. We have some chains, and we put some chains around the calves' ankles, basically, and started pulling that way. And we still didn't have, between the two of us, we still didn't have enough strength to pull the thing out. So I started helping, and I reached up in to see, like, what kind of space do we have with the feet and the head? And the head was huge, y'all. And I was like, oh no, this calf is too big for this young heifer. Yeah.
Yeah, so we pulled and pulled and pulled and pulled.
Yeah.
And I had the chains, I had a handle on the chains. I had basically laid on my back with my feet on the squeeze chute and pulled with everything
all the might
I had. And then Shell helped and pulled with everything she had, and we were unable to get that calf to budge at all.
Yeah.
Like, it was not budging. We had gotten it to the point where the 2 feet were out when we were pulling, and then when we would quit pulling, the 2 feet would just go back in.
We made no progress. So we ended up having to call for some help, and of course we couldn't call our vet. They live too far away, and it's getting on dark. It's 7:30, running up on 8 o'clock at night. And so we called up at the house and had his dad come down and bring one of our side-by-sides, his side-by-side, has a small winch on it. So he came down and we used the small winch that is on that to hook to the chains and assist us in guiding the thing out.
Yeah, even with the winch, it was crazy how much force it took, and we would pull the winch tight and then stop, and then I would use my weight on the cable, and I would balance my weight on the pins, and then use my weight to try to control the amount of pressure that we were using to pull them out, or to pull the calf out. And it was crazy.
Yeah.
The amount of force that it took, and we ended up basically having to winch the calf out. That calf was so huge. There is no way ever that this heifer was ever going to have the calf by herself.
But all of that said, well, the calf, unfortunately, it was a little bull calf, and he did not make it. The little calf, the big calf, he did not make it.
It like, we never felt it move.
No.
Like, I don't know
when.
I don't know when it died.
No.
But it never moved, and we did all we could do to try to revive it. But it was
it was done.
Yeah, I don't. Looking back on it, we don't know exactly when she started laboring.
Sure.
So we don't know exactly when.
But by the time when we got the cow to the pens, at that point, yes, we would like to save that calf, but the main goal is we need to get it out of her.
Yeah.
Because it can't stay there, or we're going to lose her. And that became our number one priority. And it took a toll on her, though. It really did. That was hard.
Yeah, it was something. So Susie Q has a comment. I feel for you guys. My dad was a vet tech. That's how he met my mom, and he had to dismember a calf to get it out. They've used chains to pull them out in a tractor. No fun, that part of farming. Yeah, you're absolutely right. And we were honestly concerned, Susie Q, that I didn't know, because the winch, I wasn't even sure that was going to work. I mean, it was something else, and I was not wanting to try to take a calf apart or to pull it apart. Like, it was one of those. You're absolutely right. It was like, oh my gosh. Mm-hmm. And then Kathy says, we had that happen in April. Huge Angus bull calf. You feel so bad for your heifer. Yes.
Yes.
It was a bull calf, and he was huge. And we've like the past two calves that were born were heifers. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, were born two heifers. So it's not like our bull throws these huge calves that heifers can't have. Mm-mm. The two heifers had it without our help.
Yep.
Like, all was well. They came, and one of them was a fairly small heifer, like in stature. Yeah. This particular calf, man, it got really big.
Wow, he was really big, and it can happen. So once we finally got the thing out of her, now we had to worry about her, because at that point she was down. Her rear end went down in the chute, and now the goal is to get that girl back up onto her feet. And she was exhausted. She was more exhausted than we were, and we needed to not only get her back up, but also try to get her back with the rest of the herd, because we were trying to go on a trip and leave the farm with the family. So it was we have to wrap this up also.
Yeah, we we let her go out of the head gate, and she just laid down, and so we let her rest, and she probably laid there and rested for at least 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Um,
And it took a lot of
and then it was
encouragement.
okay. Now you
gotta
have to get up because, as you all know, a cow can't just lay there forever. Like they've got to get up. So
And especially the way that she was laying, it was
she
going to
wasn't-
cause her legs to not
she wasn't laying right.
to not want to get up. So we had to get her moving, and him and his dad were able to get her back up on her feet, and then his dad walked her back up. We all did, kind of just eased her back up to where the rest of the herd was.
Yeah. So she took her time because it was uphill always, right? And we allowed her to take her time, and it took, I don't know, another 10 minutes or so to walk her up, and she rejoined the herd, and we went out and checked on her right before we came to hang out with you guys, and she is doing well. She's eating. She has not expelled the placenta yet, but
There's some afterbirth
yeah,
still
there's
hanging
still
out.
afterbirth hanging. So we got some medicine from the vet. We're going to bring the herd through the pens again tomorrow, and we'll give her some medicine to help her expel that. And
Yeah, and then she'll be fine.
then she'll be fine.
Yeah, she looks like she's going to be okay. I was worried about her rear end, her hips,
Yeah.
because it was so big going through there, and she seems to be walking okay, and it didn't look like it did any permanent damage back there.
No, she
coming
was.
through
There was like she wasn't bleeding. I mean,
Right.
She just looked like she had a calf.
Yeah.
Man, but it was something else.
Yeah, no kidding.
Homestead Jew says hello from West Virginia. Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Angels Homestead says I'm so sorry. Yeah, us too. It's one of those things. It's there are emotions, a lot of them when you have a farm.
Yeah.
And it's so it's such a high point when you have calves. The cows are such an integral, expensive part of the farm that it's a very exciting thing to have calves. We always take pictures and share it with Kevin and Sarah from Living Traditions, and they do the same with us when they have calves. We're always
excited.
and so to have something like this happen, it's like you've got the disappointment of losing a calf, the relief that the cow is okay, the disappointment of losing the calf, trying to go on a vacation trip, so there was a lot of emotions right there.
And if you don't know, I'm sure most of you on here do, but a cow is pregnant for 9 months. So we've been waiting on that calf for almost a year. And it finally gets here, and now we got nothing.
We got that heifer calf in November of 2021.
So she's been on our farm. She was young, and then she was weaned, and then she was bred, she got big enough.
She got big enough.
And then she was bred, and it's a very, very long process waiting. And when that calf finally gets here, that's why it's so exciting, because we've been waiting on it for 3 years,
Right.
And then to have it come out and lose it is super disappointing.
Yeah, 3.5 years we've had that cow on our farm, and at the point where she is finally giving back to the farm, then you lose it.
Yeah.
And that's part of the disappointment. I mean, yes, there's emotions, but there's also just the financial disappointment of, we've supported this cow now for 3.5 years, and now when the calf comes,
Yeah.
you don't get it. It's like, oh man. So now it's another 2 to 3 months before she gets bred, and then another 9 months after that before the next calf.
Yeah.
So we're now another
having-
year from having a calf. So
So then there are the decisions. What do we do? You know, I think it was a fluke.
Yeah.
It was just a big calf,
Yep.
and we give her another chance.
Oh yeah.
Because we really like her. She's actually an easy keeper,
Oh,
which
yeah.
means she performs really well on grass. Everything is great with her. She had a nice bag on her.
Yep.
Her teats were even a good size for being a heifer. I mean, those things are important.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Everything else was
Everything
great.
else was
everything.
great.
That's why we were so looking forward to this calf.
Yeah.
Was man. So yeah. So Firefox Kitty says, "You guys are amazing. Thank you. Thanks for sharing. Yeah, you're welcome."
Thank you.
And then, whoops, Susie Q. Tough loss. What an education. Yes.
Yes.
All education costs something. That is absolutely true. And then Kathy says, we had our Angus heifer AI bred, supposed to be a heifer smaller calf. I was there when she was bred, and the wait takes forever. Emotions are high. Yes. Yes. Yep. And then another 2 months and rebreed her. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. It is.
Same.
It's, I think it's same. It's,
Well, no, we don't AI. We have a bull out there. He lives with them full time. So whenever she does come back in and she's ready, then he's very, very good and gentlemanly, and he takes care of business.
Yeah.
He's a really good bull, and he's not big. So I don't know. I think it was just a fluke.
yeah.
You know.
And we absolutely will give her another chance.
Yeah, yeah.
I know, some big operations, they give them one chance, but for us, our operation is small enough that we will certainly give a heifer a second chance.
Okay, so the questions moving past the cow for just a second.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, anything else about the cow?
I think that covers it, I mean, I really do. I think it was just one of those moments that are hard on a farm, but you learn as you go, and we did everything we could. We saved the mama, and we move on,
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So Susie Q says, how are the chickens doing? Man, Susie, we got so many chickens.
We got so many chickens. we still got chickens showing up though. We go, oh, they're coming this week. Yeah, no, they're doing great. So we have everything from about 2 weeks old to, we've got a couple of empty chicken tractors right now, actually.
Yeah.
Because they've left. They're growing.
So we have 300 in the brooder. And brooders right now, anywhere from 2 to 3 weeks old, and they will move out onto the pasture soon. We have 4 tractors, so another 300 out on pasture right now. The next ones go the week of June the 23rd, or actually they go on June the 23rd. So we'll send another 150 to the processor on June 23rd. And we have 150 birds that just shipped.
So they'll be here tomorrow or the
Today?
next day, depending. Yeah, they ship today.
We have another 150 that are going to ship the week of June 23rd, and we're getting 100 blue sex link layers.
Yeah,
So
that
we're-
was kind of not really a last minute decision, but let's go ahead and add more layers to the layer flock. And if we get them now,
Then they should be laying as we go into winter. And I know that they will slow down, but we were able to continue to have eggs for sale in our store through the winter when other people were not having eggs, just because we had enough chickens. So we are replenishing our hens right now so that we will have them built up by wintertime. And today,
and because we don't know when to quit, 50 broad-breasted white turkeys were ordered, and I think they're going to be shipping today.
like
The Darlene Poultry up in
Dahline, Darlene Poultry.
young guy, started poultry business basically while he was still in high school. He's out now, but he has got himself quite a little chicken business going on, poultry business, and we just really came to like his product. He's growing a really good Cornish cross. He's growing some good poultry. So we're going to give him a try, and we ordered 50 turkeys, white broad-breasted turkeys from him
Yeah.
today, and they're on the way as well. So we will also have turkeys come the holidays.
Right. And we got their processing appointment in October. So they will go to the processor in October. They will be USDA inspected and processed, and they will be ready to ship before Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Yeah. So check Hunter Darlene out if you guys are needing poultry. We really like what he's doing. His name is Hunter. Susie Q also says, is lambing over, or are you still expecting sheep?
I think lambing is over. Based on when we worked them last week, we didn't really see anyone who was still due to lamb. We didn't see anyone that was looking super pregnant or late bred. There were just a few who remained open, and we will make the decision about those. Well, we pretty much did.
Well, so one,
The older ones.
yeah, the older ones.
Yeah.
I think we had one older ewe that was open, and we will probably process her on farm, and we will put her in our freezer. And the younger ewes, last year's younger ewes that were open, we'll give them another season. The older ewe that was open was also open last year. So this is her second year open, and we're not running a sheep zoo. So,
How long are sheep pregnant? Pop that up there.
oh, okay.
Sheep are pregnant for about 5 months.
5 months.
5 months. Yeah. So basically, and that's one reason I think it's a really good, and a lot of people say it's a really good homestead animal to have, because you can make meat in about a year. And that's really fast based on, we were just talking about a beef. It takes grass-fed beef, you're looking at close to 3 years, whereas you can get lamb in your freezer in 1 year. And so from a sustainability aspect, if you want to produce meat for yourself and your family, or maybe your community on a small scale, sheep is definitely the way to go, because you can make more.
Right. So our lambs were, most of them born like, say, the first week of April, and they will go to the processor this year. So November, December, they will be going to the processor, and they will weigh somewhere, just over or just under 100 pounds, right? Right around 100 pounds. So you're putting 40-ish pounds of lamb in your freezer the same year it was born. So that is an impressive thing to do, I think. Exactly what you're saying is that you turn meat faster that same year.
Sure.
Yeah. So Kathy, back to the cows, saying that she's waiting 100 days before breeding. So she's been back into heat, and then she's going to breed her.
Oh, yeah.
And that absolutely
That's really, really good on their systems.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Homestead Jude says, sounds brutal. You did your best. It happens. Yeah. And when we came in that night, it was one, like, we were hoping to go to bed early, and it ended up being almost midnight by the time we got to bed, and we were leaving at 3. So
We took a nap,
but
then drove.
Still, we laid down, and Shelley was like, we did everything that we could do. It's not like the cow was out in the field for days or weeks with nobody checking on her. Like, we knew what was happening. We made the decision as soon as we knew something was wrong. And
another part of it in farming, and many of you know this, is the decision to intervene is the hardest one, because we don't want to intervene. We do not want to get up in the middle of that mom having a baby. We don't want to take our whatever natural process is happening on the farm and inject ourselves and mess it up. Do we truly need to be involved right here? If we do, then we're going to do it.
Right.
And you don't want to wait too long. You don't want to be too soon. And it's not a science.
No.
It's really not.
Yeah.
And we're not vets.
So Susie Loves Truth says it's interesting to hear that a cow is pregnant 9 months like a woman.
It is.
That's
Yep.
true. Yep, it's like 9 months and a day or two,
Yeah.
depending on the breed.
A long time.
Yep. Anna says, I learned from another homesteader that putting turkeys on ground previously used by chickens will cause illness, and the turkeys will not thrive. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, that's interesting information. Yeah, and there's probably quite a bit of truth to it because turkeys can be quite fragile, especially in their first several weeks of life.
And then Anna follows up saying, Sheridan Park Farms had bad luck with their first turkeys. The vet told them why afterward.
Oh,
And we,
okay.
we do watch Sheridan Park.
We follow them.
We follow them.
We raised a handful of turkeys this year and really enjoyed it. We had really great success. They grew out really huge and they're fascinating animals. They're just so cool. They're not anything like chickens. They're very calm and strut around, just be very cool. So we're pretty excited. 50 of them? I don't know, y'all. We'll see.
It'll be good.
I'm sure we'll make a video out of it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So Kathy says 283 days for
Oh,
cows.
thank you.
Yes. And Emmy Livingston says, I'm so sorry you guys had to have that experience and that you lost your bull calf. That's super sad. Yes,
Yeah, it was.
we agree. And then Susie Q asks, how is Nana and Papa doing with the garden?
Oh my goodness. We got back. We had been gone just for 4 days and that thing is exploding. It is absolutely beautiful. There are tomatoes setting. There are just a wild number of cucumbers that Michaela, the little miniature cucumbers for Michaela. There's a ton of those things. And little teeny tiny baby green beans are starting. So they're headed back over to their place.
Well, there are jalapenos that are ready to pick.
True. And the
Ajvarskis are huge. They're not ready to pick yet, but they are definitely getting big.
Yeah.
And then
It's beautiful.
We have so many just volunteer tomatoes coming up all around the garden. And so many of them look like they're those stupid spoon tomatoes.
I hope not. No, the one of them though looks like it is either like a Juliet.
Yeah.
But we're hoping that maybe it's an Amish paste because it does not look like a spoon tomato at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope so.
I
But
hope
there
so,
are
too.
a bunch of them.
There's
that
a
are
bunch
spoon
of
tomatoes.
volunteer, and if they're spoon tomatoes,
There are a bunch of them that are spoon tomatoes.
yeah, they make me crazy.
Yeah.
I'm not picking them.
So Anna says, so the land lost a lot of their first turkeys out on pasture previously used for chickens. Got it. Thank you. We will
Okay.
definitely keep that in mind.
We're gonna have to do some serious research on where we put those things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
okay.
we have 160 acres.
Well, I mean,
so
we'll find somewhere to put them, but it might not be the most convenient place, is what I'm saying.
True.
They're so much fun.
Yeah. Kathy says we raised 35 turkeys once. They're so much fun. Like Shelley said, we had 4 last year. We had 3 toms and 1 hen, and they were fun until like the last week. The last week they
got
about 18 and a half
sexually mature,
weeks
I
old.
think.
The tom started fighting, and the hen was like, "Oh my god!" And so we'll see. But yeah, everyone on the farm liked the turkeys.
Yes, definitely.
Everybody. Susie Q says you're so far ahead of us in northern Indiana, in the garden.
Oh, in the garden, yeah. But we're just we're a little bit further south than you, so we're a little warmer sooner. Although we were kind of cool for a while there, we weren't sure it was going to warm up, but it is.
Yeah, the okra has taken a long time. It was basically it.
Well,
it germinated, but then it was like no.
Yeah, the okra we don't worry about okra till August. That's what Linda said. She goes, I don't even talk to that stuff yet. It's just sit over there and simmer.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what it's doing. But it's doing great. We're going to have a bunch of food. Yeah, a bunch of food.
We are.
We're going to be canning. We said we weren't going to, but we're going to have to do something with them. Huh?
I don't know.
Do you guys can also? Anybody else canning this year? Your veggies? No.
Well, I don't. We have so many pickles.
We do have I didn't say we were making pickles, but we might want to do some pressure canning now that I'm convinced that it won't blow my house up, because my dear friend Sarah showed me that it won't.
Yeah.
So we're going to be canning some green beans probably.
Angel's Homestead says
Yes?
she is.
Good.
Kathy says yes. Love canning. We may try some pressure canning.
Yeah.
That
We have
Some
enough tomatoes.
green beans.
We have enough tomatoes and we have enough cucumbers.
Cucumbers.
But I think we'll try canning some of the other things that require pressure canning, and just, it's good to have on hand, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. What you got? Oh, there you go.
Susie says, I can tons of food all summer long. I even love to can sausage this year. It's on the books to do. Yeah.
We're talking about canning some meat.
Yeah,
I want to
think we
can
will.
some chicken and maybe some beef, even some sausage. Yeah, but there's a learning curve, so we'll have to do a little bit of figuring it out.
So Angel's Homestead says, I love homemade sauerkraut.
Me too.
Me too.
I love sauerkraut. I like all the fermented things for
Yeah.
sure. Do you ferment it or do you cook it? That type.
We fermented a bunch of our super hot habanero peppers this year, and they turned out really good.
Yes.
So think Tabasco, so you have that fermenty flavor of Tabasco, but way, way hotter. We had 2 5-gallon buckets fermenting with just ghost peppers.
Nobody needs that kind of heat in their life, but we have it. Do you guys like hot peppers? Let us know.
some.
We'll bottle and send it to you.
So
Wow.
Rick Wynn says, I plan on canning veggies. I have plenty of pork and chicken from last year, always making sure that there is food in the house. Yes.
Well done.
Yes. I agree. And then Kathy says, I can over 2,000
What?
jars a year. We live out of our pantry. Sauerkraut ferments in crocks. Yes. How
Wow.
cool.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
Really
that is-
impressive.
That is amazing.
2,000 jars a year.
Well, I mean,
that's
we're doing
great.
2,000 chickens, I guess.
Well, I guess, yeah. I mean, so y'all might not know this, but we pretty much keto carnivore. We don't eat a whole lot of carbs, so we limit how many vegetables or especially tomatoes, canned tomatoes, that we eat. So we don't need a whole lot in the pantry because we have a whole lot in the freezer. But what I would like to learn is how to get the meat out of the freezer and into the cans.
And
I
then-
think that would help us a lot.
And the ferments,
sorry.
we do a lot with ferments, even being keto. The probiotics, prebiotics, all of the
Yeah.
good stuff in fermented food.
Yeah.
We really like that as well.
Yeah.
Angel's Homestead says ferment it and also ferment hot sauce.
Yes. Yes.
And then Mary Lou says yes for sure. Firefox Kitty says, I like the idea of freeze drying as it protects the food value much better. Yes, we don't currently have a freeze dryer. It is on the list of things to do. Get a freeze dryer, get a solar backup for our well. There are some purchases that we definitely want to make, not from a farm perspective, but from a homestead perspective. So we've spent these past 4 years really focusing on growing the farm, and some of our homestead type purchases have just sort of sat on the back burner. So a freeze dryer is definitely one of the homestead purchases that we want to make.
Yeah, I've been thinking a lot lately about getting things that don't even require any electricity, for our own personal use in the event that, we have power outages here, you know, and sometimes we need to be able to do things without electricity, and considering what types of tools that we want to have here.
Well, just 2 weeks
Just
ago,
in case.
from the storms that were blowing through, we were without power for almost 24 hours. And so it turns into this big dance of plugging things and unplugging things to get the freezers running so that the freezers stay cold. because we have so much. Well, I mean, this is like our overflow for the store is here at home. So we've got a lot of meat in the freezers. Anna says, my mother, who is now 100, used to can. One time she cooked breakfast sausages and canned them. The best sausage I've ever eaten.
Wow.
That's good to
And
know.
she's 100, so she was doing it right.
Yeah, you know she was.
That's awesome.
That is cool. We should definitely try that.
Yeah.
And then Susie Q says we put in a gas generator, a Generac generator, so worth it. My husband is an electrician, and I said I would never be without electric if at all possible. Yes. We would love to have one. We don't. That's another one of those things. We've got a couple of just regular generators, and we're able to do things like we can run our well pump with one of our generators, and we can run all of our freezers and refrigerators with the other generator. We would love to have a Generac. Yeah.
Okay. Homestead Jude. Ever consider dairy, cheese, butter? I think you're saying, do we produce those? Yes? I think.
We have 3 Jersey cows, so A2 tested Jersey cows. We feed them a GMO-free feed ration, and we're bringing in right now. All 3 are in milk. We're bringing in about 9 gallons a day, so 18 half-gallon jars a day, and we sell as much as we can sell, and the rest of it gets turned into cheese and butter and ghee. Mom has been making, or Nana, my mom has been making ghee lately, so that we're being able to can it. And we definitely do the dairy.
Yeah.
We make quite a bit of cheese. We do just the fast farm cheese, paneer, farmer's cheese, whatever you want to call it. We heat it, add vinegar.
We have made mozzarella. We can. We do
ricotta mozz.
Yeah,
we've done other
we
things.
typically do something to get the milk tended to, get it in some form that it's going to last longer, you know. Get the protein jammed together and get it into a Ziploc bag, you know, kind of thing.
We will either get the fat out of it or get the protein out of it.
Yep.
Or, you know, both. With the cheese, you get most
Yeah,
fat
really,
and
I
protein,
prefer the fat to stay with the protein, simply because if you take all the fat off and make cheese, it gets a little too squeaky.
I mean, like you can take the fat off and make butter or ghee or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Where you're getting all
And
the
then
fat.
also we have pigs and we have chickens, and we ferment a lot of their food. We ferment all of our hog food, and a lot of our layers, they get fermented food. So we will take the skim and add it to their food that we ferment, and it goes out to the animals. And recently, Huck has decided and fixed up a sprayer, and he's been actually spraying a milk to water mix ratio and spraying the milk, raw milk, onto the pastures. And we've heard nut biology
and calcium.
Is it's going to be interesting.
Yeah,
That's new.
I think it's going to be really good. So we definitely have dairy. We love dairy. It's one of the things that we love about the farm. Anna says, my mother and father grew up near Osceola.
Oh yeah, cool.
And then Rick Wynn says, I lost everything in my freezer after Helene hit Western North Carolina. I push to can all the foods I can now and not depend on the freezer so much. Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine. And that's we have a fear of that. We do. And we need to learn how to, for our own personal consumption, obviously not the stuff that we sell, at the air to ground meats, but for us to get it into a more longer lasting, stable situation would be wise.
Just a no electricity required situation.
Yeah.
That's why the freeze dryer even would be nice.
And I've heard people call it fast food, like in this lifestyle.
Oh,
that
like
type of meat, just
canned chicken.
Yeah. Yes, that's fast. You're not having to thaw it out and cook it especially this time of year when we're so stinking busy you know.
It would be nice.
It would be nice to just kind of make a I don't know, a quick skillet, but it's already cooked, you know. You just heat and eat.
Yeah.
That would be great. We got to get on this, Nana. If you're watching, we got to get on this.
Yeah. Well, we told everybody she brought her pressure canner.
Oh, she did.
So-
yeah. We didn't get to it yet because we weren't here.
No, but we can get on that.
We could make a video out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably not. Go to Living Traditions.
I was about to say we could make
Because
a video
they
out
have-
of trying it the first time, or you could
It
go watch
might
Sarah
be comic.
and
Comic.
actually know how to do it.
Yeah, go watch somebody that knows what they're doing. For sure. Well, so man, thanks guys for hanging out with us tonight, and for all your input, and thanks for the tips on the turkeys. Don't put them where the chickens go.
Yeah,
That's really smart.
that was really
I
cool.
have a feeling it's probably has something to do with like they're probably really susceptible to coccidiosis.
Yeah.
So we'll definitely do some research and pay attention to where we put the turkeys, because I don't have any interest in losing a bunch of turkeys
Yeah. No.
at all. So we will take care to where we put them.
Yeah, for sure.
What-
Anna says Holler Homestead considers the canned meat fast food because it's pre-cooked.
Oh, maybe that's where I heard it.
Yeah, we
I think we all must watch a lot of the same people. Yeah.
go figure.
Yeah. Well, hey guys, we plan on being back here again next Monday night, and whatever crazy happens on the farm, that's, I mean, you know,
Yeah, we'll keep
we
you
never
updated.
know.
Yeah, the lives will be a time that we can keep you guys updated, almost real time on what's happening on the farm. So seriously, thank you. We appreciate you hanging out. This is fun.
It is fun. I like it.
The first one I didn't like because of the sound issues. It flustered me, and then I didn't have fun that time. But this is being fun.
Yeah, and we look forward to it. Hey, we wish you guys all a wonderful rest of your week, and happy growing your gardens and growing your food. And we just thank you guys.
All
And
right.
until next time, bye y'all.
Bye, y'all. See you next week.